So this story begins sometime in the year 2003 or 2004. I was a student at Sri Sathya Sai Institute of Higher Learning, and I was in the Prashantinilayam campus. Then I had joined for my masters. By then I had developed what I call as the two Swami theory. So the two Swami theory is that there are two Swamis. One Swami who resides in the Mandir, either at Prashantinilayam or Vrindavan or Kodaikanal, depending on where he is, and he goes and gives darshan, attends bhajans, calls for interview, he does all this. The other Swami is my own personal Swami who is in my heart, and he has come only for me. The sole purpose of the second Swami's avatarhood is to take care of Arvind, and like that each of you have your own Swami. And that is the Swami that I would like to connect with and bond with, because he responds to me every time. The other Swami who would be living in the Mandir, whom I would see every day definitely, because there is daily darshan, daily bhajan, but there is no guarantee that he'll talk to me, or he will respond to me, or he will take my letter, or even he'll look at me. And very soon you notice that when you are there staying every day, your expectations grow. For instance, when I joined as a student, I was very, very thrilled, because I thought, what else do I need in life? Daily in my life I am going to be seeing God twice a day, or even if not twice a day, daily I will be seeing God. Nothing else I need in life, or so I thought. Within a week or two, you get into your own kind of cycle of life there, circle of life there. You get into fighting for sitting in the first lines. You feel that the third line is more blessed than the fifth line. So no longer was I happy with me having Swami's darshan daily. I wanted to sit in the first line, so that I can touch the hem of his robe, or when he walks by, his robe passes over my hand or something, and basically you want to get closer, nearer. So that became the next aspiration, to fight and struggle, run in the road, reach somehow by hook or crook or whatever, reach front, sit in the front, so that you get Swami's nearness. And then you succeed in doing that, you are still not happy, because you are now definitely having Swami's darshan, but Swami is not having your darshan. He is not looking at you. So it doesn't matter. Then you sit there right under his nose, he walks past, looks at somebody who is sitting in the 10th line behind you, and you start envying the person who is sitting in the 10th line. Feel, arey yaar, what is the use, I am here. So it starts off with you wanting to have darshan, then you wanting to have close darshan, then you wanting Swami to have your darshan, and then if every day he looks at you also, then that becomes like the new normal. Okay, Swami looks at me, so what's there? He should speak to me, then possibly he should give me interview, possibly create and give a ring or a chain, vibhuti. And we have our own gradations. Vibhuti means okay, little nice. Ring and chain means next level. Because we judge it based on us. Like vibhuti, you can buy it for 2 rupees per packet or 3 rupees per packet. Gold ring is. In fact, I remember I had once prayed to Swami, Swami, you must definitely give me a ring. Even if it's not a gold ring, a copper ring also will do. It's okay. Like we project our own limitations onto Swami. Because for me, copper is not such a big deal as much as gold. I think that is the same with Swami also. So Swami, if you don't want to give me a gold ring, at least give me a copper ring, Swami. So this is what happens. I remember reading, one Indian author had written that a buffalo was asked, describe God. And the buffalo describes that God is a magnificently large buffalo with the longest horns and the longest tail and the most loud bellow in the universe. The whole universe reverberates. So that's what it is. So that definition of God is restricted by the buffalo's vision. The buffalo thinks of God as a huge divine buffalo. So too, that's why when we make our God, we put Shiva here behind. As a very muscular person, we put 4 hands, because I have got 2 hands, right? So God is grander than me, so I put 4 hands for him, and I make him more powerful than me. So we just make a God an extension of ourselves. And this is what even a great Telugu poet would say, Telugu sage Annamacharya, Yanta matramuna evara talachina anta matrame neevu. Oh Lord, you are only that much, as much as we think of you, you are. Because you are everything. So if I think of you as something, you be that much. If I think of you as the supreme ultimate, you become that. So what I try to tell with all this is, after joining the college, when I thought that this would be utopia for me, nothing else will be needed, because I am daily saying, Swami, what else do you need? It was not utopia, because one after another, even when it comes to Swami's physical frame, it is a worldly desire, it is not the inner connect and that oneness with Swami, and therefore it is subject to the same laws as it happens with worldly desires. When we start out earning, we think that, let me just make $1 million and that's it. I am just going to retire and only seva all my life. But I never retire. I'll never, because you get a first million, then you think maybe 10 million you need. You get 10 million, you think maybe 100 million you need. There's no end only. In fact, another Sanskrit scholar writes that one who has 100 envies the one who has 1000. One who has 1000 envies the one who has 1,00,000. Then he envies the position of Indra, who is the Lord of Devas. Then Indra is sitting and envying the position of Brahma. Brahma is envying the position of Vishnu. Vishnu is envying somebody else. There is no end only. There is no end to that. So that also happens if we turn God also into another commodity that we can quantify, and you got 5 interviews, I got 10 interviews. 35 years I have been coming to Swami. How does it matter? How does it matter? There are people who in one moment get salvation just looking at him, and I sit here talk about my 40 years, 50 years, In worldly terms, if we start measuring how many years we are with Swami, or what interviews we got, all that doesn't count at all, because what matters is how we feel about Swami. When I just listen to the term Swami, do tears well up in my eyes? Does my heart feel full? Do I feel great joy in my being? Do I feel oozing enthusiasm? Otherwise it doesn't matter at all. It's not something to be counted. So I wasn't satisfied, and that is why I came up with this 2 Swami theory, because my Swami would always be with me in my heart. So as I go to bed, I would tell Swami, come lie down next to me, come let's sleep. Yeah, Swami, hold my hand, it feels nice to hold your hand. And I would, in fact, while holding hands, right, I would think this is my hand, and I would clasp my own left hand, imagining it to be Swami's hand. And believe me or not, the exercise was imagination, but the feeling was so real. It would feel, Swami is holding my hand, yes. Then Swami, this is the way I would, and it began to work magically. Like I'll tell Swami, I have one letter to give you, Swami. And Swami will tell, yeah, give me. I'll tell, but Swami, can you take it from me in the Mandir tomorrow? Why? You give it to me here. No, Swami, somehow, because of my own limitations, I feel very nice when you take it in the Mandir. So you please tell your counterpart there to, take this letter from me. And he tells. Next day when I'm sitting there, he comes, as he's walking by, he takes my letter. I'm like, God, awesome. Now my Swami works. So I go back and tell, Swami, you're superb, Swami. The whole world thinks that Swami is amazing, but you are the amazing guy. Because even that Swami in Prashant Nilayam listens to you. And I'm so happy with you, Swami, because you have come only for me. Whole day you're with me. When I'm having breakfast, you're waiting upon me to see if I'll talk to you. When I'm going to bed, you're waiting and seeing whether I'll call you, whether I'll tell you good night, whether I'll tell you Sai Ram. So I forget you, Swami, but you're always so loyal with me only, I used to feel like this about Swami, and it was wonderful. That phase was very beautiful.